I just saw M. Night and the Trap, and well, how to put this? This is one of the funniest films of the year. I'd actually say this is even more funny than Deadpool and Wolverine. But that said, I don't think it's as good. Now, that may be a little bit like, what? Because Trap sets itself up as a straight thriller, but the more I think about it, it really is like three films. The first film is nice and fine, it's very frightening. Josh Hartnett is very believable as this killer, although the name, frankly, is very cliche, the Butcher. And that gets us to the problems of the second and third film, which are very enjoyable, but they get more and more silly and stupid and just so ridiculous. And M. Night is a good writer, but some of his dialogue is a little loopy. And man, I think he made some critical mistakes. There's no nice way of putting it, that the female actresses are either not that good or they're trying really hard, but just the way he frames them, they come off really, really stupid and silly. No nice way of putting it. But was the film enjoyable? Yeah, it's very enjoyable. However, I think this is why it's getting, I think, a mixed reception from so many people. That shift, and I don't know if M Night intended this, but there is like a shift that happens beyond a certain point where it stops being a thriller and starts to become more of I don't know what you want to call it, musical concert film. It's like, okay, that's interesting. And then it becomes something else. It becomes this very weird melodrama. And that also, I think, doesn't quite work. That said, as a film, it was very enjoyable. It does have major flaws. Even if you're willing to go into these weird, absurd extremes and just have fun and laugh at the film, which again, I don't think M. Night intended this. I don't think he intends for people to laugh at him, but a lot of stuff here is laughable. So it has some of his best work and some of his worst work, and it's all mingled in such a weird fashion. It was more good than bad, so I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. However, I think even if you enjoy what he's up to, you're gonna be like, I don't know. I think it would have been a better story to go down this route or that route. However, it is his film. This is his vision. It is nothing too great, but nothing too bad. It is above average, though. It is not in the middle. People are saying it's mediocre. Mediocre would make it a 5 out of 10. It's not mediocre. You see some of the great M. Night things, like the way the camera moves, the way he's framing shots, cinematography, the sound design. Said the music here, because a lot of this is M. Night's daughter. She's literally singing in the film. She's not a bad singer. It's just that I think people will be very mixed on the music itself. It's a strange film. It is such a strange film. I did enjoy most of it, but I think this will not be for everyone. You have to be aware of this coming in. This is more of a comedy than, quote, a horror film or a thriller film. However, the thriller parts were thrilling and the funny parts were funny. So I think it succeeded at both angles. However, I think M. Night was still trying to be a little serious with the comedy. And I think most people say it didn't quite work, but it's still funny. So I do recommend Trap, but be aware, yeah, you may be in for a lot more surprises than you expect. If you're willing to go with the surprises, go ahead. But if you just wanted him to do a thriller that's scary for the whole film, you're going to be very disappointed.